Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicole DiDomenico. I direct the Center for Civic Engagement here at Norwich. That's why some of you might recognize me. Many of you look familiar. Thank you so much for coming tonight. It is my honor and privilege to introduce a friend of mine, Patrick R.A.s, who is here to share with you his story. And I just want to start off by saying that the topic of tonight's discussion is a pretty heavy one. It's about suicide prevention. And so I've been asked to mention that Kate Morris is here from the Wellness and Counseling Center. So in case anyone would like to meet with her after the presentation, she is here. And we also want to invite you that if at any point during the presentation you feel like you need to excuse yourself from the room, we welcome that. That is absolutely fine. So at this time, please join me in welcoming Patrick R.A.s.
So my name is Patrick R.A.s, as Nicole just said, and I once came to school here back in 2010 and 11. I attended classes at Norwich as a exercise physiology major and criminal justice in 2011. My main reason for coming here is because I'd like to share some of the experiences that I had, and my story starts in 2010. I had a pretty severe concussion with a longboarder accident where I collided with another car. I lost consciousness and I hit my head on the pavement after I hit it on the car. And then after that, I saw a lot of behavior changes where I started drinking heavily. And the next thing that happened was I left Norwich, and it was right in the middle of finals. I left for California. And then when I came back, I tried to go back to school here as a criminal justice major. And I met some people that heavily impacted my life. One of those people was R.A.s. We shared similar interests in playing soccer, and I played with the club soccer team. So on one night in October, I invited R.A. to a party where I provided her with alcohol that night. And at the party, I talked with some other people that I invited there. And one of them was a guy that went by the name of Jay. And Jay told me that he drank a whole bottle of whiskey before driving to the house. And after he told me that, I was disappointed in him, and I left him. And then later on, some other stuff happened, and most of the people that were there began to get in their cars and head back to campus. And so I made sure my friend R.A. had a ride home. She told me that she was riding with Derek, and because of the confusion with the J and Derek, I didn't put two and two together. So not too long after she left, a student came back and said that there was an accident at the bottom of the hill and that a young girl died. And it was in that moment that I knew that Renee Robbins was the one to lose her life. And it was really just a mess. There were multiple broken bones, and everyone was kind of traumatized by it. And I feel like that was the event that pushed me over the edge, because in November, about a month later, I had my first attempt at suicide, and I was admitted to Central Vermont Mental Hospital, where they prescribed me with antidepressants, and that only seemed to heighten the suicidal thoughts that I was having. Another month went by, and in December, on December 21st of 2011, I did attempt to take my life by hanging. My father was there, and he took me down and began CPR as best he could. I was then admitted into Rochester General Hospital, where I was the night before, and they chose not to admit me there. And they told my family that I was without oxygen for 20 to 30 minutes. They said that I had 0 chance of survival, that I'd never walk, never talk again. But by the grace of God, I'm here today. And I just like to share with you some of my experiences. Nicole was actually very instrumental in my recovery process. And would you like to play the video now? Sure. I need to be strong mentally and never give up.
Meet Patrick Morales. Patrick is a graduate of Northfield High School and a former student of Norwich University. He is a son, brother, and a friend to so many people in his community. Last year, Pat sustained a traumatic brain injury that almost took his life.
It was pretty bad. It was almost at the, a decision had to be made. The fact that he made it strong, I'll put it to you like this: the recovery that he's gone through has made me definitely a believer that he can get better. But obviously it's going to take time, patience, and a lot of hard work.
In high school, Pat was extremely active. He played baseball, basketball, soccer, and even ran track. He was an amazing athlete and an outstanding runner.
Pat is very outgoing, very athletic. Trying to think of a good word for you, Pat. Strong. Pat is very strong.
Doctors told Pat that he would never be able to walk again, but he has since proved them wrong.
And now he's able to walk on his own. He can't do any backflips yet, or run a 400, but he's getting there.
If he can do this when people didn't think he was going to make it at all, what can he do now? And he wants to run now, and I think that he's more than capable of doing it.
On Sunday, April 28th, an organizing committee of his friends, neighbors, and loved ones will host the Race for Recovery, a 5K walk/run to raise the money he needs in order for him to someday reach his dream of running again and returning to school.
Pat just left an impact on me personally to make me kind of want to turn around and give it back to him.
Where he's at right now, compared to what they said he could have been or would have been, is a whole 360 degrees.
So please join us on April 28th.
For Pat's Race for Recovery.
Yeah, sudden changes in attitude after long periods of depression is one of them. I was told that the night before I hung myself, I was smiling, I was dancing with my family, and none of them even thought that I was thinking of suicide. Giving away of valued possessions. withdrawing from usual activities such as working out, going to the gym, or hanging out with friends. Not sleeping or oversleeping. This was a big one for me because the week leading up to my suicide attempt, I got virtually no sleep. So I was very sleep deprived, and I wasn't really in my right mind when I decided to make that decision. Yeah, so recent head injury. The rate of suicide and concussion in people with concussion is significantly higher than those without. I'm not sure why all that is. There's so much we don't know about the brain and how it works, but that is definitely a contributing factor. Moodiness or easily angered, short fuse. So I was told that you all know about QPR and when to apply it and stuff. I'd say that if anyone exhibits any of these signs, now that would be a good time to ask the question, are you thinking about suicide, or have you thought about hurting yourself? Just opening up that conversation could help someone thinking about suicide.
Well, join me in thanking Patrick for his time.